Welcome back to Swan's Walk. There's been only one topic on everyone's minds this week, and it's been this. Oops. No, my mum always told me, James, it was not good to laugh at the less fortunate. But how's your weekend been?
Oh, quiet, mate. Not been really getting into much controversy this weekend. But you say that, but I was always told you have to give to the less fortunate. We gave them 4 points this season, tried to help them out as much as we as possible, but even that wasn't enough in the end. So, yeah, no South Wales derby next year. To be honest with you, I completely forgot that we were playing on Saturday. If I'm honest, I was more interested in the West Brom scoreline.
Yeah, and as you know, we look for comments on Swansea games. We couldn't find any Swansea people commenting, Swansea fans commenting on the loss to Millwall. They were all in the West Brom chat, going, "Well done, West Brom. You've got rid of them for us." Yeah, we will talk about the Millwall game in a second. But yeah, I mean, surely you're going to miss them in a tiny bit.
Given the season that we had against them this year, probably not so much. So, maybe have a year or 5 off in the derby, so that might be interesting. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest, it's been coming for a couple of seasons now, so no real surprises. And their luck ran out this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Oxford fans are ready to have a party with you, of course, this weekend as well. So that'll be good. Let's have a quick chat about. Oops, that's the one I want. I don't want that again. There we go. Yeah, a couple of tweets then. First half was poor, says the Shropshire Midlands Jack. Second half was much better. Should have won it in the end, but we need a striker next season. Here we go again. I think that's much clear. Some really good chances. Yeah, what was wrong with that first half? You were a bit off it, weren't you?
Yeah, it just seemed that we weren't doing what we do so well game to game. I think Harry Darling not being in there is a big miss. His distribution and some of the diagonal balls he can play into the channels for Ronaldo perhaps weren't quite there. We just seemed really off it. I don't know whether maybe it's a hangover of the last couple of games. But second half, it was much better, let's be really honest. The only problem was our finishing from Armand Vipotnik. You can't really legislate for it. They should have been putting those chances away. But again, I suppose our luck was going to run out eventually. I think when you look at the stats, we were overperforming on XG. And that kind of showed this weekend that, it's not always going to go away. We're not always going to win by those fine margins. So, yeah, it's a tough place to go. Wasn't a classic, but I really do believe maybe Harry Darling being missing was quite pivotal for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're going to finish, well, you're currently 11th. If you beat Oxford, you could climb as high as 10th, which I think at the start of the season you would have taken if I'd have offered you.
I think I may have said around about 10th beginning of the season, quite a long time ago. And, being honest, where we were Christmas time, well, just after Christmas, New Year, I'll take it. I'll be honest with you, we seem to play like prime Real Madrid when there's nothing to play for. When we have a really good run of form, we've done it under Russell Martin before, where we had that massive run at the end of the season and we weren't actually playing for anything. So it just seems that when the pressure's off, we play our best football.
Yeah, I don't know if you're watching the Luton Coventry coverage, but your old mate Luke was on there on the sofa on Sky, giving his verdict on things. Seems like he's got over his slump now, and yeah, he's clearly putting himself back in the market. Because obviously West Brom did you a favour. Have you forgiven them now for relegating Cardiff?
Yeah, probably. I'll be honest. Yeah, it's kind of balanced things out a little bit, and it's very odd timing for Luke to be on there, considering the West Brom job's back up for grabs again, isn't it? Yeah, so that might be a coincidence. Could be nothing in it, but yeah, pop back out again now that job's available.
Okay. Right, let's look at the betting odds, shall we, for the next manager of the Swansea job? I mean, yeah, I'm not going to put money on Allen because it wouldn't be worth winning. Yes, Ryan Lowe, second favourite currently, with Eric Ramsey, Des Buckingham, David Gray. Not that David Gray, of course. Sing for the late 90s, early 2000s. Stephen Gerrard, 20 to 1. I mean, any on there? I mean, I know your man's not on there, but any on there interest you at all?
None at all, if I'm being honest. I think maybe I was sort of taken in by the idea of Buckingham when we first sat Luke Williams. Again, because of the slight alignment with the way we play, but I really do think we should be aiming for better. Again, would be a gamble considering how poor he was with Oxford. I know man for man, perhaps that squad at the time didn't have the quality that we have, but nothing on that list that really sort of fills me full of quality. And at the minute, it's really quiet. I know there was a lot of talk saying that the club had opened talks with Alan Sheehan, but as of yet, I've not actually heard any more on that, which is interesting. As I think Wales Online was saying, it should be done before Oxford, but I still think we need to take our time over it. We shouldn't just rush to what's there. Assess all the options, whether that be Kim Helberg. There'll be other people out there as well in the summer. If we just take that extra bit of time, I think we need to get this appointment spot on. It can't be another botched job like last season. We can't be chopping and changing every 12 to 18 months. It's just not sustainable. And, well, look at Cardiff. They bounce from manager to manager. And let's be honest, we don't want that to be us. We want to learn from the mistakes there. Yeah. But yeah, it's very quiet at the moment. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen as things stand.
I went and watched some Helberg videos after last week. You bring it up, and yeah, he plays some really attractive football, doesn't he? I can understand why you'd want him here. The danger is, of course, you leave this too late, and West Brom will appoint Sheehan, knowing the way that your season's gone. Right, Oxford then visit this weekend. As I mentioned, they're already safe. They're expecting a party. What do you want to see in this final home game other than 3 points?
Maybe one or two of the younger lads get some game time as well. I know Sam Parker and Arthur Parker have been around the squad this season. Just to see them get some game time, really, because nothing really to play for. Right? Yeah, we want to go out on a good performance. I'm not saying chuck all the kids out there. But yeah, maybe just see a couple of them and give us an idea as to what we can expect to see next season.
Yeah, brilliant. We are going to ask for your favourite home game of the season in a second, given it is the last one. Before we do that, though, we're asking, of course, the most important question ahead of the summer. The kits will be out in the next month or so. What do you want the home kit to be? What do you want the away kit to be in terms of colours and design? Any preferences this time around, James? Do you want something that you're modelling at the moment? Something as garish as that?
I absolutely love this one. I think they really missed a trick when they didn't make this the home shirt for the entire season. Like, literally, this is one of the nicest shirts we've done for a long time. I quite like it, and people say it's quite boring, but when we just go for an all-white kit, I really like that. It evokes the Real Madrid sort of vibe, so like that for the home one. For the away one, I'd maybe like to see us go back to an orange kit. Again, I know it's not for everyone, but always reminds me of that first season back in the Prem, where we had the 32 red orange kit. So maybe something totally out there like that would be nice as an away one.
Okay, right. Let us know in the comments what you think. Right, yeah. So time to say goodbye to football for 3 months. What's been your favourite home game this season, James? What's stuck in your back of your mind?
I think probably QPR on Boxing Day, mainly because we don't tend to get very many at home, and we absolutely destroyed them at one point in that game. That was, I talk a lot about the Swansea way. That was an epitome of a Swansea way performance. I know we didn't see an awful lot of that under Luke Williams, but it was a very, very enjoyable watch. Unfortunately, what came after it really wasn't, but that was, some fantastic football on display in that match.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, but this season has been an absolute roller coaster, hasn't it? Of being near the playoffs, and then that run-in, was it November when you didn't score a goal or didn't concede a goal? It was run of 0-0s, and then to have that awful run, and then this mini. You've actually had you've had mini seasons in one, haven't you? Of everything. Are you looking forward to a rest?
Yeah, I am, to be honest. And I'd like to see us come back with just a complete, like I said, complete reset. Let's not make the mistakes that we've made over the last couple of seasons. We've sort of flipped and flopped between so many different things over the last couple of years. I just want a bit of stability. That's the main thing the club needs at the moment. We've had a lot of change on and off the field. Let's come into this in the summer, have a really clear plan that we want to go forward with. And rather than having, the playoff charge at the beginning of the season, the relegation fight at Christmas, let's just be on one consistent level throughout the season. And if we don't get the playoffs next season, or we don't sort of solidify ourselves top 10, let's be building towards something. It's always sort of like false stones with us at the moment. So I just really like to see us just get on that even keel, come back with it with a complete fresh set of ideas, and hopefully have a really good season again. I mean, it certainly wasn't boring. But I don't think my hairline could probably take much more of that if we keep having to go through these seasonal relegation, mini relegation battles. But yeah, last week kind of made up for it though. So I know it's not all bad.
Brilliant. I suppose when we look at if you beat Oxford next week, you'll finish on 63 points, is it, something like that? That will only probably be 3 or 4 points away from the sixth place finish. Is it going to be a little bit of a season of what ifs? What if we'd have got rid of him sooner, like you were asking for?
I think, it really does remind me of that last season under Russell Martin, where you're thinking if things had panned out so differently, again, 3 points off the playoffs that time as well. Again, had we just had the courage to part ways with Luke Williams sooner, I think after the Derby defeat in January would have been the ideal time to part company. Like I said, there was all that speculation about him taking the job. I really do think that affected the squad. We were on such a good run pre-Christmas. And I think all that speculation, the negativity, the blaming of the players, I think had we just taken that out of it, maybe just sort of, again, that word stability, put a bit of stability in there, who knows where we could have been, If the season was 3 games longer, we're probably in there.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, the way you were playing at the moment, if you had finished 6, I'd back you all the way to Wembley. My goodness. Right. Thank you very much then for joining us. Solo job this week. The team will be back next week to do one more of these. Look back at the whole season. And put our thoughts on it as we close this podcast out down for this year. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Thank you, James. Enjoy your another. How many more days are you going to be on the Cardiff tweets, giving them hell?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel my steam running out just yet. Like I said, I've got a lot of pent up sort of sorrows from 2018 when we went down and they went up. So I'm sure I'll get bored eventually, but I think I'm going to be blocked by quite a lot by the end of the week.
I think and Lee Trundle, just. I hope he's not planning to visit Cardiff anytime soon. Cheers, James. Have a good one. Enjoy the Oxford game. We'll see you in 7 days' time.